Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shana Fernandez, and I am the Minister for Social Development in the Western Cape Government. I'm here this evening to attend the black, white, red and yellow celebration of the colourful life of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. We all know that the Arch played a valuable role in relentlessly pushing for peace, and he was honoured in 1984 already with a Nobel Peace Prize. I see it as part of nation building, and I do believe that we can learn a lot from the Archbishop in terms of his quest for peace and freedom and fairness in our lifetime. The exhibition is stunning, and I'm certain that all of our guests will enjoy it as much as I have. There's a lovely little handbook that goes with it, and I can only say thank you to Artscape once again for putting on a presentation like this. I must acknowledge the Consul General Messerschmidt and his compatriots who have contributed towards the artwork that we see on the walls.
And in that sense, I would like to call to the podium for the endorsement of the Women and Humanity Festival by our newly elected MEC, Shana Fernandez, and she is not a stranger to Artscape and a stranger to the Humanity Festival. I give over to the MEC.
Thank you so much. Program Director, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, but more importantly, the Tutu family. Paul, I remember many years ago when I worked at a branch of FNB in the Herengracht building, and you were up on the 10th or 11th floor. We would encounter each other in the lift. That was many years ago. I think it could have been 1997. But it is indeed a privilege to be here this evening. And when I came in and I saw the graphics, I was so completely blown away, because I think it really captures the Arch as we know him. I am going to take my cue from the CEO of the foundation and also to acknowledge the board, but I have prepared something, and I think just to stay in keeping, because I could keep you here all night, like Molly, and I don't think that's the aim of keeping everyone here all night. So we need to firstly, I think, pay tribute to the fiercely bold women who are in this room this evening. We need to honor our women in an effort to acknowledge their contribution. And I liked when C.G. Messerschmidt said, celebrate the women in your life, but I don't believe it's Women's Day, because every day we have a Women's Day and every day we have a Man's Day. We need to find that mutual respect, and we need to learn to honor each other. So I would like to say we're also here to celebrate the colourful life of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. The arts and humanities are more vital now than ever before to the endurance of our constitutional values of respect, tolerance, diversity and freedom, at a time when we are experiencing such tremendous change and turmoil in the way we live, the way we connect to one another, and the way we relate to the rest of the world. Simply put, we would have no basic understanding of our past. We would have no imagination to envision the future and to dream without the arts and humanities. Archbishop Desmond Tutu's fight for peace was relentless, to the point that he was awarded the prestigious Nobel Peace Prize in 1984, 10 years before South Africa endured on its journey to becoming a democratic state. In his acceptance speech, the Arch eloquently declared, and I quote, "There is no peace in South Africa. There is no peace because there is no justice. When there is injustice, invariably, peace becomes a casualty," unquote. The Arch has taught South Africa and individuals across the world to embrace the concepts of human invaluableness and interdependence inherent in the phrase, and I might not pronounce it as I should, Umuntu Kamantu Not 1, 2. We've got that. I'll practice it, I'll get it right. But basically it says we derive our humanity by virtue of being members of the human tribe. This phrase itself captures the interconnectedness between art and humanity, as art in any form or size is well known for being an expression of our physical, spiritual, and emotional selves. It is in the art's purest form where we are able to experience the colorfulness of being human. The arts and humanities are crucial to any form of education because of their direct connection to our human experiences. The colorful life of arts grants us with the tools to develop critical thinking, witness others' experiences, understand how people think from different cultures and perspectives and the lives that they live. It broadens our perspective of life and society and thus helps us to deal with everyday problems and bring us closer to one another. Now more than ever, we need to be brought closer to one another. Arts and humanities are essential to every one of us. The consequences of generations without arts and humanities means a generation without thought, experience, and ability to deal with various problems that might be thrown at us in life as we are dealing with people around us. The role of women in arts ought not to be taken for granted in the role that they play in ensuing and at troubled times restoring faith and hope in humanity. Women are the rocks of our society. In 1966, Susan Langer wrote a piece called The Cultural Importance of Arts that I concur with. She writes, every culture develops art as surely as it develops language. Some primitive cultures have no real mythology or religion, but all have some form of art, dance, song, or design. What I personally love about the beauty and the true nature of the art, and I've experienced many of art forms in this very center of humanity, I don't call it artscape, as Marlene so aptly calls it, it is the humanities building. What I like about that is it is so colorful, but it sees no race, it sees no gender, it sees no creed or ethnicity. And in that way, art is truly one of the few things left in the world that is grandly awed and engulfed by many who live on earth. I want to wish you well for the Humanity Walk tomorrow. I know that it's a little stretch away from the castle, but I'm sure you're going to come from slavery to the promised land. And as you said, you're going to have a festival, you're going to have song and dance, and I'm certain that you are going to celebrate. It is sad that in South Africa, 25 years in democracy, there are still women on farms who have to fight for their place in society. It is sad that we have women in all sorts of workplaces that still have to fight for their rights. And it is so important that we acknowledge that gender disparity is very real. And even in the environment in which I operate, one experiences very subtle forms of, let me not get into trouble here, let me just word this very carefully, but you could be very quietly bullied. There could still be the old boys club, when you still find the innuendo, the snide remarks, and it's a difficult space for a woman to be in. But I chose to be here not because I wanted to be a politician. I chose to be a social justice activist and to fight for those women who don't have voices. And I must say I enjoy tremendous support from Marlene and the Artscape community. So tomorrow we want to wish you well. And whilst the arch is here, I think this is so great. You know, we often wait for people to pass on before we talk to a legacy. And this is a living legacy. He is still with us and we are here to celebrate it with him. But I also want to share just a quote from the late Toni Morrison. She said, and I quote, "I know the world is bruised and bleeding, And although it is important not to ignore the pain, it is also critical to refuse to succumb to its malevolence. And we are actually at that place in South Africa today. We know that it is cruel and painful, and we are bruised and we are broken as a society. But I think it is important that we acknowledge the contribution of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu in bringing peace and being an activist for justice and freedom. He has given us hope, and Paul, may your dad continue to inspire us, and may you carry, and the foundation carry that message, not only to South Africans, but to the rest of the world. I thank you.